She got that drip, she got that glow. Baby's a rose, she got that soul. Showers are cool, but she like the soap. Whip full of gas in the back of your drum. She not stuck up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Spirit of More, and if you haven't been tuning in, I've been talking about just different things that I have become aware of, like, I guess we'll just call them issues, because they did become issues at one point. However, once you start learning how to deal with that type of stuff, and really start working on yourself once again, then you know what I'm saying, they're not issues no more. And it's dealing with childhood, the way that I grew up. I know that some people might be able to relate, some people might not, but either way, thank you for tuning in. So in the last video we talked about abandonment, and there was just one other thing that I wanted to say. I'm not sure if I had mentioned it, but one of the things that I kind of learned, or I feel like I was taught, was to like chase people that abandon you. I think I did say that, but either way, that's a big no-no. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I had to learn that the hard way, but at the end of the day, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Growth is a beautiful thing. So next thing we're going to talk about is, I don't know, I guess these last couple ones like tie in together. To be completely honest, you know where my pen is at? The purple one? So the next three I have written down are companionship, marriage, and love. So I know I had touched on relationships a little bit. So that's, you know, tying into companionship, marriage, and love as well. Thank you, baby. And I mean, pretty much how that goes is double standards, honestly. I grew up with a ton of double standards, to where like I was the only girl cousin. Well, I was the only girl too. I only have brothers, so yeah, but I'm the oldest. So my cousins, I have mainly male cousins that grew up around me. So with that, it was like I kind of got to see, bless you, I got to see, you know what I'm saying, them being told one thing and me being told other things. Like, it wasn't okay for me to have male friends or whatever if I wasn't interested in a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? That's how it seemed. Even though I had I had male friends and female friends, but I had more male friends than I did female friends. And it's just always been that way, simply because like I listen more to males than I do females. Like, I'm a female, so it takes a certain type of female for me to be able to just like be extra cool with or whatever. If I did, the most I did hang out with females was like they were older than me, so they kind of, you know what I'm saying, like we related on a different level, whereas people my age I didn't really click with still, even to this day. But yeah, so when it comes to that type of stuff, marriage, companionship, and love and all that, like, I feel like it was forced on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be in love, you have to get married. Like, if you're talking to somebody and you're not thinking about marriage, then it's a waste of time. Excuse me. So, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking people wasting my time if I'm, you know what I'm saying, talking about that type of future. And now, come to find out, marriage is not for everybody, first and foremost. Like, you would first need to know what marriage is. That's like first and foremost. But marriage is not for everybody. And then you have to determine what your boundaries are and what you're willing to deal with, what you're willing to accept, and what you're willing to just, you know, live with, I guess, as like kind of a permanent situation, or not permanent or whatever. At the end of the day, you just have to be okay with whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until, you know, I had my little few, I say few, but wasn't until I started experiencing life on my own and really not caring about what people said that I realized that you don't have to be in a relationship with everybody you talk to. Like, as far as relationships, you know what I'm saying? Some people genuinely can be friends. Some people genuinely are supposed to be nothing but friends. You know what I'm saying? Some lines you shouldn't cross with some people because it's not worth it for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, so many people out here that have all this baggage, like emotional baggage, childhood baggage, you know, baggage from experiences. And a lot of people don't want to let that stuff go. You know what I'm saying? What I'm learning. And it's like, I've always known that stuff wasn't quite right with how I was taught or whatever and how I was raised. But, you know, once you start really doing the needed work, then you start finding out how to actually deal with that stuff and process it and change it so that you're not continuously passing down, you know what I'm saying, ignorance and just dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay for children, or it's okay for young people to be themselves, like, without being shamed or without having to feel like, you know what I'm saying, every move that they make is going to determine how they are in the long run, because that's not the truth. Like, some things, sometimes you can't tell people like, oh, you only live once, and then expect them to not do certain things, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I was told, that, but I was only told that as far as like things that really didn't matter to me. I really can't think of any specifics right now, because a lot of stuff now, looking back on it, a lot of stuff really didn't matter to me, but I was made to feel like they should matter. You know what I'm saying? So instead of enjoying some of my younger years, I felt like I was supposed to be all serious about life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took life way too serious at one point. So, yeah, now it's just like whatever. Especially as far as, you know, marriage goes. I literally thought marriage was like the end all. And I found out that that was not the truth. Like, it really was not the truth. It could be, eventually, maybe. But, you know, it's not something that should be forced, for one thing. It's not something that you should just go into a situation thinking about. I believe that you should cherish friendships. That's just simply where I'm at this point in life. And that's pretty much where I've always been. So it's like I'm getting back into that, where I actually want to build that solid foundation with people. I wasn't taught about that type of stuff. I kind of just seen different situations and I'm like, okay, this and that. But I know for a fact that situations that I have been in and relationships that I have been in, times that I did, you know what I'm saying, tell you I love you to people, you know what I'm saying, it was me wanting to build that foundation. And I will always, if it messed up in any way, I will always be like, dang, I just want my friend back. And people don't really know what that means. Like, they just think you're talking outside of your neck, like, oh, okay, I'll be your friend and stuff. And they're like, no, I genuinely want my friend back. When you're friends with somebody, y'all laugh together, y'all kick it. Like, there's no problem with not having no labels. But like, when you start putting labels on stuff, like, some people really cannot handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, I mean, we see it all the time. You see it with cars, you see it with shoes, you see it with clothes. Like, some people really just are label crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. But the only label that really matters to me, like, when it comes to that type of stuff now, is friendship. Like, a genuine friendship foundation. Like, what are we finna fall back on? You know what I'm saying? If this all blows up in our face. Because, to be completely honest, a lot of us would have had like lifelong friends, but it was messed up on both parts after you cross certain lines. I don't think that it should always be that way. I believe that you could cross lines and still be cool. I believe you can. Like, I've done it. So it's just a matter of, you know what I'm saying, you're still gonna have to grow. So yeah, you still might end up leaving these people behind or whatever, because growing is just a natural part of life, you know, and everybody doesn't like to progress in that way, or they might not want to progress in the way that you're progressing. That's fine. But at the end of the day, like, there's nothing wrong with really taking the time to know yourself. I feel like you should really take the time to know. That's the relationship that you should build first and foremost. But a lot of us aren't taught that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us aren't taught to love ourselves. A lot of us aren't taught to be friends with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we're having to do things backwards, which is fine, because a lot of us don't have a problem doing that. But then there are some people that really don't want to do that. They don't want to put in that work. They feel like, look, I didn't grow up this way, or this is not my cup of tea. Like, that's fine, that's cool. But ultimately, you definitely need to have a relationship with yourself before you think about any other type of companionship, before you think about any commitments and stuff like that. Like, you got to be committed to yourself. And that's just one of the many things that I'm glad that I know now, moving forward, to be able to contribute to whoever's life. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I already told y'all in the last video, I didn't want these to be too long. And honestly, like, the more that I do these videos on this particular subject, like, the more I'm just coming to grips with the fact that it's all repetitive at the end of the day. So it's whatever though. Hopefully, you know, somebody can relate, like I always say. And I don't know, give me some. Once I'm done with this, it'll be, I guess, probably some, I don't know, more exciting stuff. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions though, or whatever. But hopefully y'all have had a good day, and I'll see y'all next time. And I'll also be uploading on my other channel too, more frequently, but we'll get into that later. So until next time, deuces.